Welcome to 2023. I'm here talking at a camera because apparently that's what I do now. That's my life. So I wanted to sit down and talk about our kind of plan, or what our plan was, what our plan is, and what our plan is probably going to evolve into, because it has changed. The launch of this channel was originally intended to be at Halloween, and I was going to do a big Halloween kind of games thing. But the launch kept getting pushed back, and we couldn't find a place for a long time. And then this place sort of suddenly became available, this office. We knew it was going to eventually become available, but it became available suddenly with kind of short notice. We were like, oh, quick, snap it up. But we weren't going to be ready in time to launch at Halloween for the big horror kind of weekend of shooting that we had planned, and including some kind of live stuff. So that kind of went out the window quite quickly. Either way, though, the plan was always to launch the other channel, the tabletop role-playing game channel, the one where we will be doing actual play shows. And we're still preparing to run a game of Fate on there, and probably a game of Inspirals on there, and then some other things later down the line. That was always the plan. So this channel was always intended to be experimental to facilitate that, as I've mentioned before. We recorded, as you've seen, I can show you little clips here as well, some tabletop board gaming stuff, some role-playing stuff, and I've done my video essay blog styles because it's good practice for me in terms of editing at the very least. They were quite good for shooting because I was shooting little skits within them, and then testing the editing capabilities. I have edited before, but like over a decade ago before I really edited something, so I needed to learn the system again. In that first one that I did, for example, when the camera when it zooms in and everything turns red, I wrote that into that script, not knowing for sure that I would be able to edit that because I didn't know how to do it. So I wrote it in and we filmed it, and then I was like, well, I sure hope that Avid is capable of adding these effects in, and I can figure out how to do it. And luckily, it was, and I could. So it is those video blog styles are useful as editing exercises for me, as I'm relearning kind of the software and relearning how to do it. So whilst it wasn't necessarily my intent to do that kind of content regularly, it has proven quite good and quite popular. Those are my biggest videos, those two. So I will definitely be doing more of that. It would be great to be able to do one of those a week. I've written quite a few scripts for those sorts of things, and then fit everything else in around it. I think that could be a good standard for the channel, because we weren't really expecting the channel to work as well as it has. I know that seems very pessimistic of us, but ultimately I wanted to shoot those things, the games and the game stuff, as experiments to see how the format would work, see what we could do within the space, learn how to use all the equipment, and then edit it together as proof of concept for the other channel and for future channels. And we were going to do a big push. I was going to be like, oh god, I'm going to do a push for like 100 subscribers. We'll do a push for that. And then next time I checked, I had like 150 subscribers. I was like, okay, well I'll push for 200. Went to sleep, woke up the next day and had 250 subscribers. Said, well, I'll push for 1,000, and I've smashed through 1,000. The popularity of that first video really powered us through all the milestones that we were originally going to plan to aim for, and like do events to aim for, which push us ahead of schedule effectively. We no longer had to do any of the launch events that we had on the cards, because we've broken those barriers earlier than expected, which is obviously fantastic. There's more that we can do. Obviously we've reached a kind of we've had the 2 months of the channel so far, and we've reached a good soft point to be like, well, this is where we're at. We know what works, what doesn't, what we can achieve, and what we can do. So I think I've got a good format in mind for the channel going forward this year, which will be more of that video essay content more frequently, because it is a good editing exercise, and it is good to shoot those little skits, because I do want to make more short film content ultimately down the line, and that is a good kind of miniature version of that, getting back into the habit of doing that. So we hit the 1,000 subscribers earlier than expected, during sort of mid-shoot and mid-editing of all of the other projects, and we had a little bit of a celebration, unexpected of me. The rest of the team surprised me, so that was amazing, and thank you. But it's put us in a odd position of having to reevaluate where we're gonna go next. We now know that this channel can work and that it could be a bigger platform than perhaps originally intended. Like I say, it was intended to be an experimental and a launching point for the other channel, but now I think this channel could really be something. So I'm working on scripts for more of that, and we'll put more one-shot content up here. We did shoot a 3-part series of Fate Accelerated, partly to see how much we could shooting we could get done in a day, and also to experiment with the game and the format a little bit more, and the different camera setup and things. So we're still somewhat experimental, which is good for this channel. But that will go up on here probably in February at this rate. But in the spirit of making of, I have been doing, figuring all this out and doing lots of research, so I might as well update you on the creating of a YouTube channel, because I've done the research so that you don't have to. So we've reached a point where we've clearly got something that we can build on, but we haven't exploded over the internet. We're not the next big thing. So in terms of what we can do next, I don't think, from my research, that a Patreon is viable at this point, or something like that. So we're not going to push with that. I am going to open a Ko-Fi, I believe it's called. I might pronounce that wrong. I have to look into that. I'll dub myself over if it was wrong. Which will be open now. I'll put links below, which you can donate to the channel and to what we're doing here, as well as a Amazon wish list, which I already had for the channel anyway. I had made an Amazon wish list of things that I knew I needed, but I will make that public, and I'll put that out in case anybody wishes to help contribute to the making of this and the other channel. It'll have boring officey things on it, like board games, but also super fun stuff like HDMI cables. I say that as a joke, but if you've watched any of these other making of blogs, I would actually be quite excited to receive some HDMI cables in the post. You'll probably have seen from that. So yeah, I mean, for Christmas I got a 12 terabyte hard drive, so that works for me. I can geek out over. I can be excited about that kind of stuff. It's quite happy to do that. So those are open. So check out the links below for the Amazon wish list and the Ko-Fi support. We much appreciated. I also put a link tree in there because I will start adding my social medias to this. I don't use them for this generally. I'm going to try and clean up my Twitter and make sure that it's more role-playing game and this related. I have my Instagram as well. We'll all be on the link tree. I'll also create a Gmail account for this channel specifically, so I can start looking into making a mailing list, among other things. We will eventually have a Discord. A couple of people actually mentioned in chat, in comments of some of these videos, that we should get a Discord. We do have a Discord. We actually use it to organise the shoots at the moment, so it's a cast and crew Discord group. But I will look into expanding it into more of a kind of chat room for this channel. In regards to the other channel, we're very keen to move forward on that. So I think come February we're going to launch some element of a crowdfunding campaign. We'll see where we're at by the end of January, but I think a crowdfunding campaign will probably start specifically for that channel, for the first series of that channel, the role-playing game. We're still debating the titles and everything else that we will work on, but yeah, something in February will launch for that, and then February will be a lot about promoting that campaign. As always, the support we've received so far is massively appreciated. Much love to all my viewers. We really aimed originally just have if we can get a few hundred views on some of these videos, that would be amazing, and then some of them are just cracking up into the thousands, and wild. So I've actually got to take this channel seriously now. You're making me take it seriously, but that's good. I will work more on this making of, because some questions have cropped up, and if you do have questions about what we're doing here, then please post them in the comments so that I know what to cover. We will cover the in the next video of this the financial setup a little more, because some people have been curious, precisely how we've worked everything out so far, because as much as this looks very impressive. You can see the recording room in the back there. It's actually still set up from the fake game that we recorded a month ago. Just been very lazily not bothered to pack all of it down yet. It was the holidays. What do you want? But yeah, that's still set up back there. But as impressive as some of this may appear, we are entirely self-financed at the moment, and it's very little money. We found a lot of loopholes around various things, and we can only afford to do this for a limited amount of time, realistically. So I'll talk more about that in more detail in the next making of video, because it gets a little bit complicated. But what I'm saying is we are not like established. We are still testing the boundaries of what we can afford to do, and filmmaking is expensive at the end of the day. Like I said, we've filmed that 3-part Fate series to test the kind of the format. We've learned that we can comfortably shoot 3 episodes in a day, and that'll go forward. We'll then launch in February towards the launch of the other channel, which will have a 10-part Fate series. That will be the first thing that we launch, run by myself, and then we'll start planning the other series after that. I'm also going to look at, with in terms of the board game content, I think it's fun, but I don't know how well it works just having set up of someone just watching people play a board game. So I'm going to try and incorporate that into some other things. So if we had a shoot day where we had some guests on who I could speak with, some game designers or filmmakers, or people that we just sort of know, play a game with them, review that game essentially, and then have a chat with them. That could all be filmed in one day. I think that's probably quite a good format to aim for, and we can make smaller videos out of those games rather than the big 2-hour-long playthrough videos of a game, which is there might still be market, and that might still go out. We will see how it goes, but I think smaller content in terms of those is probably going to work better for us, just format wise. We did film a playthrough of This War of Mine, which I think I might have mentioned before. That will come out. That was just chapter 1. That game took a lot longer than we thought it would. So that's chapter 1. I'm probably going to look to edit that down a bit just to make it a shorter video as part of this experiment to figure out what the board game format's going to be. But we only finished, like I said, we only finished chapter 1 of that, so we're going to come back and we're going to keep playing that and keep filming that, and that'll be a little mini series of us trying to complete that game. We will do a push. I'm thinking there will be a push event at the end of the month, because we've kind of got an idea of things that we want to film then. So there'll be a weekend event where we will try and do a push. We still need to do a live thing, and I still need to launch a Twitch, because I still want to experiment with Twitch a little bit. So that might come up soon. Don't have that on the cards yet. It's something that might happen. So we'll do some kind of event, I think, at the end of the month. More to come on that, where we will hopefully be able to do a live broadcast to push for the next 1,000 subscribers, which would be amazing. If you want to support the channel, please do like and subscribe. Like I said, there's the links below for all the other things, but if you can just want to like and subscribe, that's absolutely fine. That is the first step. Then please do that. I try to get a video out every Saturday, and hopefully a second videos in the week will be coming out going forward, but for now it's just going to be a video every Saturday morning. I did a poll on the YouTube community. I've started using the YouTube community tab for what my next scripted video should be, and it looks like it's going to be how to unlearn D&D, which kind of seems to be winning the poll at the moment. It's a bit tight between something else, but I think that's probably going to comfortably win. So if you want to see my thoughts on how to unlearn the bad habits that D&D gets role players into, then that's going to be the next video. And I try to start using that YouTube community more. So yeah, next week, how to unlearn D&D. But for now, thank you for watching, and check out all the links below. Join all the socials and everything else. And hopefully this is going to be a big year. We really hope so. Everything, lots of big plans. So yeah, keep an eye on this space. And bye for now. The end.